If you've ever watched just a little bit of this channel, you'll know that I'm a big Game Boy fan. It was the first handheld I ever owned. It was the third system I ever owned. And for 30 years plus, I haven't stopped collecting for it. It's brought an incredible amount of fun to me and my video gaming history. We're going to talk today about some of the launch titles. We'll focus initially on the UK and Europe, and then we'll look at some of the other regions. You're going to see some of my versions of the game, and also we're going to sneak in some gameplay as well. So I hope you enjoy it. When the Game Boy landed in UK and Europe in 1990, 4 launch titles were available, and the first one was Alleyway. It carries a bat and ball premise that everyone knows, and its origins clearly go back to Atari's Breakout. Move the paddle, bounce the ball, obliterate the blocks, and go high score crazy. Even with its bonus stages and a giant Mario made out blocks, it's not the most exciting of titles. There's no power-ups, you're likely only going to want to play it for short periods. However, let's not forget it's a launch title and the year is only 1990. And arguably the next title is also a very simple experience. Baseball. All the players on the pitch look identical, including the well-named Fuku on the Japanese team. Mario and Luigi don't look anything like Mario and Luigi. The batting experience isn't too bad, however, and it can be quite satisfying when you land a shot. Fielding, on the other hand, is a complete yawn fest and super slow. And next up, we've got Super Mario Land. It's different in many ways to other Marios. Peach has been replaced with Daisy, and the big baddie is an alien going by the name of Tatanga. It sounds like something out of James Bond. The backdrops are often simplified and the sprites are mini, but these things don't stop it from being an extremely fun game. The gameplay mechanic feels great and it's a solid platformer. You've got a wide variety of enemies and bosses, and the stages are particularly innovative too. It even has a submarine. The addictive soundtrack completes things nicely. Definitely a title to keep coming back to. And now with the most well-known game of them all, Tetris. It was a packing game for US and Europe, a bit of a gamble as the obvious choice was Mario. However, the head honchos at Nintendo were apparently convinced that Tetris would appeal to a more diverse audience. It was clearly the right decision to make, and people still went out and bought Mario. In fact, 18 million copies sold, which is more than Super Mario Bros. A title synonymous with the handheld. I'll admit that my 12-year-old self was super sceptical of Tetris. I was used to the Master System, being a kick-ass ninja in Shinobi, and even hunting Ralph the Idaho Slasher in Chase HQ. And now we're talking about falling blocks. Clearly my worries were uncalled for, and 3 decades on, I still love this bloody game. The gameplay may seem extremely repetitive, and perhaps it is repetitive, but it never gets boring. And achieving a 4-line Tetris remains a punch-the-sky moment. What a game. And meanwhile, the US had an additional title, Tennis. And with Mario's umpire, decisions are clear and there's no John McEnroe moments in sight. You may be tricked into thinking that with the 2 buttons, one for shot, one for lob, it would be a simple affair. However, there's much more than meets the eye. Using the D-pad to change the strength of the shot, or even applying some aftertouch, on the serves and lobs. Graphically, I think it looks really nice, the animations are pretty cool, and even the ball's shadow gives the game a real sense of perspective. There's not much to get excited about with the music, but that said, the sounds of the crowd are oddly motivating. When it comes to the sports titles, I play this over baseball every single time. At launch, Japan didn't see tennis or Tetris. Super Mario Land was the flagship game and drew some great success. However, Nintendo offered up a title that wasn't seen elsewhere, and perhaps for good reason. The title was Yakuman. Built on the game Mahjong, a Yakuman is a hand so challenging to pull off, it will typically win the round. With Nintendo having made physical Mahjong sets, and even a dedicated Yakuman handheld, it was inevitable they'd land something for the Game Boy. The game centres around a one-on-one player mode, which is unlike the traditional way of playing with 4 players. If you don't want to play against a computer, you can also use the link cable and join up with a friend or adversary. As you can see from the gameplay, the game is all in Japanese. It also assumes you have a good understanding of Mahjong. With character cards being in kanji, I'll admit it has rarely had much use in my house. And there you have it, the 6 launch titles for the Game Boy. With all those genres, I think there's something for everyone in there. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please subscribe. Before I finish, I'm going to leave you with my ranking of those 6 games. And sorry Yakuman, I'm going to have to apologise to you in advance. See you on the next one. Cheers.